Hey everyone, this is Chris Keys for Premier Guitar. We're hanging out at the Gibson booth upstairs, 2025 NAMM. I'm here with Matt on my left, Kapali on my right. Gentlemen, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Having a great show. How about you?
Real good. And how are you doing?
So well. Stoked to be here.
That makes three of us. Stoked to be here. Matt, tell me about these cool things. It looks like we got some old friends, but these are all new guitars we're going to be seeing here.
Yeah, so last year we, started the first foray into aging acoustic guitars with Tom Murphy's help. And so we created a team there in Bozeman, guided by Tom Murphy. Tom Murphy was out there training our very, very talented team, who already came in with some experience, especially building vintage-style acoustic guitars, as we already had a historic reissue collection. So we introduced that new Murphy lacquer, the aging techniques, which are really unique to acoustic guitars, but we did it incrementally. So first we had our late-age collection, and the next wave is what you see here, which is the heavy age collection. So we didn't just offer the heavy age versions of the same guitars. We introduced some new models, which you'll see, like this Hummingbird, and then we've got an SJ100. We even have a Nick Lucas in that heavy age collection. So things that we haven't done in a long time, and this gave us a good excuse to do it.
Some of these things I'm sure are secrets you want to keep in-house, but can you divulge any information about that aging process and how it differs from obviously dealing with a finished guitar that you would have on an electric side that Tom's been doing for years, but then also a differentiation of what, because the thing that's been in acoustic guitar stuff is torrefication of wood or that type of thing, so how that stands out and is different with what you are doing.
Yeah, so we do torrefication on all of these guitars, which is a way of basically baking the sugars out of the wood. It makes them lighter weight, it makes them more resonant, but ultimately we think it just creates kind of that dry sound that you would get from a vintage guitar that's experienced many, many seasons of different humidity changes and whatnot. But more than that, you're also getting the playability, the feel. So on Murphy Lab instruments, whether electric or acoustic, we're breaking the lacquer line on the binding on the neck. So when we do the binding roll on the neck, we don't have to be gentle about it. We can go really hard, so you're getting a really, really comfortable rounded corner on the edge of the fingerboard, which really makes a large neck feel small and makes a small neck feel even more comfortable. So that's another benefit of Murphy Lab. And then Tom, it really was the first one after the first experiments with acoustics, literally the first guitars that he did with his lacquer. He was like, this is game-changing, because on the electric guitars, I didn't know if they sounded better. I wanted to know, I wanted to see if they sounded better, but he really believes on the acoustics, it's just a measurable change in volume and output, in character. And I think it really is like all the best parts of the historic reissues come to life with that Murphy Lab lacquer.
Now, are you grabbing any specific models, not specific models because obviously that's what you're doing, existing models, but anything that in anyone's collection, whether it's Cesar or Tom himself that has acoustics, where you're like, let's try to capture that mojo or that look?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of us, myself included, are collect vintage instruments, and some of those instruments, for example, I had a Banner 45, Banner J45, that I was convinced was like, this is our gold standard for acoustic sound. And then I'll pit it against a Murphy Lab, and I'll be like, I guess I'm selling my Banner J45. So, that's the crazy thing is, some of these guitars they outdo the vintage counterparts. We've outdone what we set out to copy. Yeah. It's crazy. But that's a testament to the great build quality we have in Bozeman. We always have had. I mean, that the team there, the factory there, it's just unlike anywhere else in the world. They just live and breathe this stuff. Engineers from my team, they literally won't go home. I have to make sure they go home at night, because they just they're experimenting, they're trying new things, new bracing styles. Yeah, it's really inspiring to be out there. And we just doubled the size of our craftery. So we expanded into a larger operation. We can do more entry point guitars and more of these high-end Murphy Lab guitars too.
Now, what does the aging process add on to the build process in terms of length? Is there any types of, because that adds steps to the process where you're essentially assuming building the guitar and then almost bringing it back in years?
Yeah, so Tom he wants to have first right of refusal on any aging that he sees. So he wants to ensure that the aging quality is representative of what you see in a vintage guitar. Fortunately, myself and many of us at Gibson are really familiar with what a vintage guitar should look like, and what aging looks unrealistic, what's too far, what's too little. So we all kind of keep an eye on making sure that there's consistency. But that said, too many cooks in the kitchen when it comes to this stuff means inconsistency and unrealistic aging. So we always want to keep it a small, like craft, small batch mentality. So this is where one thing, like on the electric side, we may have a year-long order book, but it's worth it. Like, trust us. Like, that's how we maintain the quality and the look. So yeah.
And whether you can share this or not, I'll at least tee it up for you. Is other companies we visited that do relicing or aging, they have certain things that they use, and this is electric. So comparison is I've seen railroad ties used to destroy a guitar and freezers. Is there anything that you can share with our audience that you guys use to do what's specific to acoustics?
I think it was Tom Murphy that started with the railroad ties, and in fact, our engineer in Bozeman, Madison Swords, is a brilliant young engineer. When Tom showed him his railroad spike, Madison's like, oh, well, we can use our 3D scanner and just make more of these. And Tom's like, that's genius. So now everyone that works in the Murphy lab has a clone of Tom's railroad spike, which is crazy. And he also has his belt buckle. Like, he's got a belt buckle that, the belt buckle that is used to create the back wear. And, with the acoustic guitars, I know that freezing kind of creates that desired checking effect, but we don't really need that because, one, Bozeman has like the right humidity level that when we apply the lacquer, we know we're going to get some checking, especially this time of year. We're probably going to get a little bit more checking, but the unpredictability of it is what makes it really cool too. It's, every guitar is unique, every guitar is different, and the way we age them also influences how they check, which is cool too.
Well, I want to get back to here, so have you take it for a longer test drive here, Kapali. Go for it. Throw a question your way because it seems like any guitar that you probably pick up you make fast friends with, but what's your experience playing like these aged guitars in how they sound and feel different to you in whether it's a blindfold situation or you're going into it knowing what this is but how it's feeling and responding to you?
Well, I think I'm blessed and lucky because I play a 1934 L50, so I've spent a lot of time with what a pre-war is supposed to feel like. And there's a pre-war L00 out there a Murphy Lab L00 out there that honestly I think is better than my pre-war 34, which is crazy to say because like I've spent so much time with it. But these guitars, as an acoustic guitar player primarily, they feel consistent in the sense that you can take them on the road, and taking my pre-war is scary, but I would go on like 6 months and just take this and go and know that it would be okay. And I couldn't really say that about the pre-wars, Well,
if you need a place someone to go, if this is your number one now, I can take care of that 34 for you. I mean,
just give me the address.
Well,
safer.
Well, I know that we want to see some other guitars, so should we move on?
Yeah, I want Kapali to play this, but I also wanted to just show off a model that we have not done since 1939, which is really cool to say that. But this is an SJ100. That's a mahogany back acoustic guitar. We've done like a 1940 version of this. What makes a 1939 and a 1939? The stair step peg head. Cool. So this was not an easy thing to do in production, where we've got a very like normal operation there in terms of headstock shape until this came along and everybody was like, are you sure we have to do it? I was like, yeah, it's 1939. Yeah. It's the height of the Art Deco movement. This guitar tells a story beyond its just beautiful look and its sound. But the pickguard mimics that stair step headstock. This is also unique because you got the ebony fingerboard, ebony bridge on the mahogany back and sides. This guitar also, the build quality is evident in its weight. Like if you just feel how light that is. Yeah. So
qualified to touch it.
You are qualified for sure. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be good as soon as you pick it up. And that's, again, a testament to the build quality in Bozeman, the light bracing, and it would fool most people when you see that. Even like the logo is recreated on the headstock. You can see the checking on the headstock. And, vintage example of an SJ 100 in this condition from 1939 could be $40,000, $50,000. So we're also happy that this kind of offers you that vintage appeal, the vintage playing experience for a lot less. So.
Before we have Kapali make this thing sing, what can I ask? Or can I ask about when it came to doing this, who brought up the idea? Was it Tom? Was it Gibson? Was it a joint effort? Because it seems like there might be some people in the camp that might be like, well, this is sacrilege. Just one thing to do a relic and electric, but acoustic people are a lot more traditional in a overall sense.
Yeah, and I totally respect that, and I mean that's why you have many choices with Gibson. You can get full gloss finish. You can get the modern features. You can get a modern pickup if you want. You can get historic reissue VOS. You can get historic reissue gloss finish. These happen to be available in light aged, heavy aged. So there's really something for everybody. But I will say that when Tom did the Murphy Lab on the electric side, he was really eager to try it on an acoustic guitar. He kept saying, like, send me some acoustics, unfinished whitewood acoustics, and I want to finish them out here. So finally he got a chance to do that, and he was like, we got to do the acoustics. They sound amazing. Like, they're mind-blowing. And sure enough, like, we brought him to Spigma, which is like the big bluegrass convention, and, get him in the hands of artists, and everybody was blown away. So we're like, all right, there's something here beyond just the aging. Like, cool. Yeah.
Well, man, I'll have you take it away for us. Let's hear this thing. Now, not only are you a handsome devil that can pick and grin, but I do want to give you a little shine. Is that you've been seen as Gibson has put an honor on you. You're part of their family now. Yeah. What's that like?
It's a dream come true. I mean, I used to cut out Gibsons from Musician Friend magazines, put them on my school books. I mean, I traded $50 a skateboard and my dad's spray paint cans for my first Epiphone Les Paul. Like, this is Beth, Matt, everybody here has just been family, and through some of the hardest times they've been here. So it's truly such a dream come true, and that's why I bleed that G,
Yeah, well, yeah. Just want to put another shout out for Kapali Long, who last night he graced everybody at our media event with just a beautiful song, and definitely check out his music. He's also our spotlight artist for the month of January, so very apropos timing here with NAMM. So,
well, I'm in the grace of it's goodness here.
Yeah.
All right, fellas, thank you for letting me see and hear these beautiful instruments. Matt, where should people go online to figure out more about these awesome instruments?
This may surprise you, but Gibson.com is where you got to go.
Like, it's a good start. Yeah. And Kapali, where should people go to figure out, find your music and follow you on your journey?
At Kapali Long, Kapali. Long.
Koehler. Well, let's hear it off for you guys.
Cool.
Thank you for playing, and let's hear you do it one more time.
Okay.